What's up, everybody? It's Old Man Winter 8, and we just got done watching X Games over the weekend, and obviously a lot of amazing riding going on with all the different contests. But it kind of sparked me to make this video about a contest format that I've been kind of thinking about over the last few years. And I know that they're always trying to make it a little more relatable and try to make it a little bit more exciting for the viewers. And unfortunately, I think the playoff thing they tried this year, I don't think that worked out. I mean, I kind of get it where they're trying to make it suspenseful, like the playoffs in any other sport where they're kind of whittling it down. But I don't think that's really something that's going to help a ton, where you just want to see a lot of good riding. But this format that I've got, I think might solve some of those problems. Maybe not. Maybe it's just in my head. I've had a time to talk with some people about it, and thought it was time to make a video. So my format for the Big Air in particular has to do with a lot of stuff where we want to make things that are more relatable to the average rider, but also there's a lot of people out there that they just want more. They want to see that progression. They want to see more spins. They want to see these riders go one more 180 past the last person. Now, when it comes to the progression, I know a lot of people are watching these guys spin 21s, and we even watched them go past 21 at this contest. And a lot of people sit there and go, I don't want to watch this. This is so stupid. I hate it. And the one thing I have to say about that is I get why you say that, but at the same time, if you're still watching the X Games, obviously you don't hate it that much. But also, a good thing to say, years ago, when the first double corks started coming out, everybody said the exact same thing. Oh my God, they're just spinning and flipping so much, I don't want to watch this. But guess what? Now, some of those double corks, since these guys have pushed the progression so far in the spinning and flipping, now those double corks are some of the most steezy tricks, and they're doing them bigger, slower, mixing up the grabs, and really adding a huge element of styles. So when it comes down to it, you can hate on the progression, you can hate on the super spins all you want, but that's just gonna make everything below it get even better. And then when it comes to those riders, there's some of those riders that's what they thrive on. They really wanna progress, they wanna do more, but there's obviously a lot of riders out there that aren't really willing to put their bodies on the line, and they're not really interested in getting crazy and getting into some of those crazy spins that are beyond 14 or getting up into the 20s. So when it comes to that side of things, you're gonna get a lot of riders out there that should be in these big air contests, but they don't wanna be in them because they don't have that need to spin more and more and more. They just wanna push the style side of things. They're not even going to bother entering these contests or even putting it out there that they want to be in these contests because they know they don't have a chance of going up against these riders who are spinning to the moon. So with all that being said, here's the format that I've kind of come up with. I call it the stock and send. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get your stock tricks, your stock spins. We're talking 180, 360, 540, 720, 900. That's where I think a lot of the riders really get up to, especially if you're out there riding all the time and you're really spinning. And if you're not really going the contest route, even some of those amateur riders, a lot of them do get up to 900. And where this comes into play with the contest is that basically, we'll still do a jam session format, but usually the jam sessions are around 20 minutes. Well, I say let's let them bump it up a little bit more. Let's go around 30 minutes. Let's give them a little bit more time. Now, once we get this clock started, the riders will go through those stock spins. They're gonna go 180, 360, 540, 720, 900, and then after that, anything goes. And the key to this too is that every single trick is worth up to 50 points. So your 180 could be worth 48 points, but your 720, you might not do it too well. It could actually be worth less. So each one of these tricks, basically these riders are doing their first hit, they're doing a 180, they're trying to do the best 180 that they can do compared to all the other riders. Same thing with the 360, the 540, the 720, and the 900. And then when we get into those crazy spins, that's where we can kind of set yourselves apart. Those riders who want to push that progression, they really want to hit those big spins and hit those big double grabs, double flips, triple flips, even into the quad flips, and who knows where it's going to go. That's where they can showcase that talent. And then when we get to the end of the contest, your final score is basically the score from your first 5 stock spins and 2 of your best anything go tricks. So when we're going along with this, we're gonna have less time out there hucking and going as hard as they can every single hit. So these riders are going to have a little bit more stamina. They're going to be able to ride a little bit longer, and they're obviously not going to have to go right after it, right off the bat, and really put their body on the line for their first 5 hits. It almost gives them a little bit of a warm-up. This also is going to open up the field to riders who don't necessarily want to go out there and absolutely go crazy and throw down. And in fact, let's say we get out there and one rider does really, really well on their first stock spins, and then they do their anything goes. Well, if the other riders are throwing down these crazy, crazy spins and these crazy, crazy high-end tricks, if they don't land those, then those riders still have a chance. Basically with this format, everybody has a chance because every single trick is worth up to 50 points. A 180 could get them more points than a 21. And when it comes to watching it, this is obviously going to be a little bit more relatable for those amateur riders. And now the riders themselves, they have to get a little bit more creative. And I think now is a perfect time because we're seeing all these clips come out where these guys are doing 540s and then coming back. They're rewinding, they're pulling it back. We're seeing it in the pipe, we're seeing it off of jumps, we're seeing it everywhere. And there's a lot of this really, really cool progression where tricks are going in a little bit of a direction towards the style and creativity. So we're basically getting something that's still going to push progression. It's going to push progression in a way where we can get more and more, but it's also pushing progression in a creativity side of things. These riders have to figure out how they can only do a 180, but make it super, super unique compared to everybody else's 180. Like as a 360, 540, 720, 900. They can really, really think outside of the box and try to figure out how to put down a trick that nobody has ever seen before, and they're not having to put their body on the line. And then also, again, those riders who aren't out there interested in hucking themselves into oblivion, they might be saying, hey, you know what? I can compete in this contest. I can have a chance in this contest, and it's gonna actually open up a little bit wider range of riders that will actually want to be in these contests. And basically give anybody a chance to win, whether you can spin past 21 or not. And then of course, with all of this, I wanna have live scoring. We wanna be able to see everything. So this way you can have the viewer watching real time what's happening, and they can see that, hey, this rider needs to throw down a super big trick, but also the riders can look at it and say, you know what, maybe I don't have to lay down a super big trick. You can have your little victory lap, or it can get to the point where it's like, hey, I need to get a 48, I need to throw down a trick that's going to get me that 48. So just like what Street League does with skateboarding, where you can actually see it going up and down, but it literally shows the riders exactly what they're doing, and they can make the best decisions for them in that exact moment. So again, this is just an idea. I'm not saying it's a great idea. In my head it is, but I would love to know what you guys think. But from what I can see, this is something where we can still push the progression of snowboarding, but we can also push it in a different direction. We can push it to that more and more spins, more and more flips, but we can push it to the more and more creativity and more style side of things. We can also open up the field of riders and get a little bit wider variety of riders. We don't have to just get those guys that are going out and learning how to huck more and more, flip more and more, spin more and more. They can actually say, you know what, I don't have to do that. And I can go out, I can compete, and I can show what I'm doing, and I don't have to worry about my clips just getting lost on the internet because the algorithm isn't putting their stuff in front of your face. And I have been thinking about this for a long time. I'm sure there's some stuff I'm not thinking of. I have never been in one of these contests. I have never judged one of these contests. So I'd really, really like to hear what the people out there have to think. If you are a professional rider who rides in these contests, let me know what you think. If you are a viewer who loves to watch this stuff, let me know what you think too. There's obviously one of those things where you're not going to please everybody all the time, but I think this is kind of a way that you can maybe please a lot of different people. There's always going to be people are going to be haters, but definitely let me know what you think down in the comments. And who knows, maybe this will be something we'll see in the future. And then if not, doesn't matter. As long as we're out snowboarding and having fun, that's the most important part.